I thought I would keep it light for today's video, and instead of talking about any sort of philosophy or music-based topic, and instead talk about one of my favorite bands, Kiss. Hey everybody, my name is Travis Mark. I'm the host of the Musician's Mentor podcast, and now the Musician's Mentor YouTube channel. Regardless whether you're new here or have been here before, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. Likewise, don't forget to check out the full episodes of the podcast by going to the playlist on this channel or simply searching for the Musician's Mentor podcast on your preferred streaming network. On today's video, I want to talk about a band that I absolutely adore, and that is Kiss. What makes Kiss so interesting to me, away from their music, is the fact that they seem so polarizing to the general public. For 50 years, you have people who completely hate that band. You've got people who are completely obsessed with that band, like me. And then you've got people who like the band in different configurations, because obviously they had different band members at different points. They had the makeup era and the non-makeup era. But I'm not going to talk about all of that. We would be here for weeks. The thing I am wanting to talk about is a concept that they came up with, or Bill Aucoin, their manager, came up with, and that was to release the solo records. On the 18th of September 1978, on the same day, each of the band members released a solo record under the Kiss umbrella. This was a genius concept that I've never seen done by another band. Now I get it, band culture isn't what it used to be. There aren't as many household name-known bands anymore. But to dig into why this happened, the band had started to have a couple issues within their camp. And their manager, Bill Aucoin, thought it would be a great idea to give them each a break without breaking the band up by letting them work on solo material and put out their own records. Genius idea. Kiss put out 4 records on the same day under the Kiss umbrella. But realistically, these were 4 very different albums. Most people seem to like the Ace record the most. The interesting part there is if you go down the rabbit hole, you'll realize that Paul and Gene in particular truly underestimated what Ace was capable of at the time. Likewise, the original Kiss drummer, Peter Criss, his record seems to get a lot of hate online. But if you take it out of the Kiss realm, out of that world, his record really is quite good. And say what you want about Peter, but he's truly got a wonderful voice. Anyway, I can go on about the albums and their individual nuances all day long, but I thought the concept of this was genius. Keep in mind how revolutionary this was at the time and how popular an artist would have to be to do it now. Can you imagine a band like Metallica or Muse or the Foo Fighters or U2 suddenly all putting out solo records? I just don't think it would fly. The Beatles probably could have done it, but didn't until the band had broken up. This band was still together. In hindsight, Bill Aucoin was probably trying to protect the group as a whole by putting a band-aid on it and letting them all work on individual ideas. It didn't work out because the writing was pretty much on the wall at this point. You know, Peter's playing on less and less of the material, and there's other guest artists playing on the records, even though Peter and Ace are getting credited. But for those interested, this leads you down a real interesting path with the history of this band, and it affects all the individuals involved in total different ways, which once again, I'm not going to talk about on today's video. But if you're interested in music marketing and some real out-the-box marketing type ideas, you should totally check out the Bill Aucoin era with Kiss. There's some fascinating firsts here, even down to the Kiss Army and how nowadays it's so normal for bands and artists to have mailing list members. But back then, they were responsible for a lot of firsts. You know, they didn't necessarily write the book, but they definitely helped write a lot of pages that now are normal in the book. And likewise, there are good things in all of these albums. You just have to keep an open mind, which is something, again, we discuss all the time. If you're a Kiss fan, hey man, hit me up. Always good to talk about this band. If you're not a Kiss fan, I can't recommend enough that you at least go check out what they did from a marketing perspective, even if you don't get into the music. All right, that's it for today. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.